remember this, don't we? You remember this front cover, the Wild About Harry cover, which was, of course, the entree into the glossy magazine world of Meghan Markle, struggling actress, bit part piece, and of course, well, hoping to make it big on the back of the connection of marrying a real-life royal prince. But you know, Meghan is never ever satisfied for long. But what's interesting now is, as this story you thought had finished, well, apparently it's continuing as ever. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. Nice to have your company. Welcome back, one and all, on a nice day here in the very heart of the United Kingdom. I hope you're keeping well. By the way, I don't know if you've seen that claptrappy idea from the current Mayor of London about closing down Oxford Street at a point in September. Apparently he wants to make it a sort of traffic-free zone. Now, when you think about it, you know, this is a man who's never run anything. You wouldn't trust him to run a bath, you know. And the problem that you've got is, just picture the scene, right, girls and men. It doesn't, you know, I'm not being sexist or anything, but you've bought a few items, say Marks and Spencer's, a pair of shoes maybe from a shop, and suddenly you've got to walk the whole length of Oxford Street before you can get a bus or find some way of getting back home, nearest, whatever. The tube, but you know, a little bit risky given your phone's going to be stolen within seconds. You get the picture. This is the level, as I showed you the other day with the Deputy Mayor of London, the Crime Commissioner. Could you, I mean, you just couldn't make this woman up, could you? She could barely string a sentence together, yet £150,000 a year, and apparently Sadie thinks she's the best person for the job. There you go. There's leadership for you. It's a bit like this, Vanity Fair. Meghan didn't like it, she didn't like the picture, she didn't like the name strap. She was very upset apparently that it focused on a relationship with Prince Harry. Let's be honest, a total unknown, and would never have got that particular front cover if it wasn't for the association. Now here's where it gets interesting, because every magazine that Meghan's dealt with, including Vogue, where she fell out with the doyen of Condé Nast, Anna Wintour, because she wanted to pick out the clothes, the frocks, the strap lines, where it was going to be filmed. This woman's deluded beyond all. I mean, you just couldn't make this stuff up, could you? At this rate, she's now going to be on those tea time magazines because nobody's going to want to work with her. Or are they? Remember her earlier this year, I think February time, Vanity Fair, as many people remember, did this hit piece on Meghan and Harry called American Hustle, detailing exactly what they'd done, which, well, was tantamount to nothing really, but you know, they decided. And the big shock factor about this from a contributing editor was the fact that Meghan was shopping around a post-divorce book. And that was a big story, you know, and it went nowhere because according to Meghan and Harry, it was baseless. They're never baseless because they don't go legal. If it was baseless, they'd have gone legal, but they didn't, right? Now, as I told you the other day, one of the things that I find really fascinating is, in the glossy magazine world, it's very hard to find superstars that can shift copies of magazines. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is one of them. Always a delight, always a nice sort of picture, and that's what you want to see, isn't it? Just a nice, smiling, you know, beautiful, sort of aspiring picture. Somebody like also Melania Trump. But as I also pointed out, they don't want Melania on the front cover of Vanity Fair because the woke staff apparently, well, they just don't like what she stands for. What, successful, beautiful, her own woman? You know, I mean, these are the thickies that are now running this level of magazine, right? But now apparently, while they don't want Melania, they would consider, get this, Meghan Markle again. Do they know what they're going in for, the fire, etc.? And this apparently could be the Christmas issue edition, because as you know, Meghan is struggling to find some level of interest in her forthcoming Netflix Christmas special, where no doubt she'll be, you know, singing carols round an open fire or all that sort of stuff. You know, it's all about family and community and getting together. You can imagine what that's going to be like, can't you? All those picture frames around their house all empty. You know, picture of the half-sister, oh no, it's not in there. Picture of Thomas, not in there. Harry's family, no, just loads and loads of empty pictures. It's just ridiculous to think that Vanity Fair would pick Meghan Markle, a woman who's been incredibly difficult in the past to Vanity Fair, and included the then editor, Grayson, if you remember him. He had a very tough time with Meghan and certainly wouldn't want to work with her again. But now they believe, the staff, yes, spurned the First Lady of the United States, but they believe that Meghan Markle could shift copies of their magazine for a Christmas edition. Now it's going to take some sort of shifting and moving, because obviously Meghan's still sort of, very upset, to put it mildly, the way that they turned her over at the beginning of the year. But now as desperation seeps in, she has to find a way of climbing back. And what better way to say to Netflix, who are already on the ropes with her, well, if I get the front cover of that, surely you'll want to sign me up for more. It's a developing story. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.